Hello everyone, so today we will talk about Heroes gear. So this is my very first video. I've been playing Kingshot for a while now. It's very similar to all those other survival games you can see out there, like Whiteout Survival and such. So today I will give you my take on the hero gear, which is divided in three different factions. So there's the infantry, which is all the unit that you're seeing over there that have the shield. Then there's the cavalry, which is the one with the horses, and then there's the archer, which are the one with the crossbow. So let's start with infantry. So infantry, always the same thing. On the left here you have your attack skills that are useful in conquest and arena, and on the left you have the skills that are good in expedition. So we're not going to go into that. We're going into this. So this is the gear. So every type of unit has different priority in terms of stats. So let's start by looking at the infantry. My take on infantry is that they are tanks. So they will and always are in the front line, most likely. There's different strategy, but 90% of the time they will be in the front line. So defense, the longer they live, the longer it takes anybody else to get to your back line. Also, they boost infantry stats, and infantry is the most important unit in the game because if you're running competitive, you're running 50% of your army as infantry. So each piece of gear gives you different stats. So the helm and the boots are giving you lethality, and the armor and the gloves are giving you health. So needless to say that health is a priority, and also for the arena and conquest, defense is a priority. So I tend to keep those 10 levels ahead of the helm and the boot that are going to boost my attack. They're still pretty strong because lethality is super important. It's like an hidden stat that kind of adds up to the damage quite a bit. But in my opinion, it's better to boost the defense stats for the infantry. Now, cavalry, kind of similar to infantry. They are damage dealer from the front line. The cavalry will often be second to be targeted in the arena. I tend to try, this build is not done yet, but I tend to try to keep the attack stuff a little bit higher level than the defense stuff because cavalry uses lethality a lot. So they can bypass. I'll show you later, guys, with the skill. They can bypass the infantry and go directly for the archer. So health is important, but damage is really important. So I tend to try to balance it out, but ideally try to be a little bit more into attack so you can do more damage. And the defense is also important because they are going to get hit, but less important in my opinion than the attack. Last but not least, the archers. So this one is a special one because Saul is kind of an archer tank because of his skill. He boosts his defense. So for him, it was kind of useful to boost the defense item. But in general, your archers are not going to be a target, both in arena and in expedition. So archer health is, every stats is good, but it's one of those stats that is not going to carry as well as lethality. So when I get the pirate from Gen 2, I will reforge using the reforge button these two pieces that are defense, and I will lower them down to probably level 30 in order to boost those two, because archer lethality is basically the best thing for archer. So I would say these are the two most important piece of gear. These are the one you want to use your hammers on, and these are a little bit more situational. Like for Soul, you can boost them a little bit because his defense proc will help you in arena and conquest, but in general, attack will do more on archer. And now, last thing, just so you guys understand how this works, let's go into any of those buildings. And as you can see, on the top right here, each unit has two skills. So the archers are doing more damage against infantry. Here's where lethality is important because they are directly attacking the tank. And they do have 10% chance to attack twice in a row, which if you stack up with attack and lethality, transfer way better than health. Let's go see the horses. So cavalry, same thing. The cavalry is a bit more special. So they do more damage against archer, like I said earlier, but they also have a chance to bypass infantry and go directly attack archer. So they are archer killer. So this is why we only run 30% archers as opposed to 50% infantry, because the cavalry can just go through and kill the archers. They have a chance to do that. So the randomness makes it that you want to have a lot of infantry in order to be able to take care of everything else. And last but not least, the infantry. Just give me a second here. So the infantry, same thing. They have an increased defense against cavalry, so they're basically the wall. And they also do more damage against cavalry. So basically they are just like there's 20% of the cavalry that will avoid them, but the 80% that stays behind, they're gonna get murdered, because this is what infantry does. They take care of cavalry, and this is why most people will not run a high percentage of cavalry, because cavalry will absolutely get murdered by infantry most of the time. And even if you have a chance to get through, you do want to play the mats. 80% chance of getting murdered is not good. So you do want to run a high percentage of infantry, and this is where all that equipment is coming into play, because if your infantry has some extra health and extra lethality and they do more damage against cavalry, they will absolutely just murder any cavalry that goes in their way. So hopefully you guys liked the video. I try to keep them short, under 7-8 minutes. And if you're interested, you can comment and let me know what you would love me to cover. I do have good knowledge about the game, and I don't mind sharing. So have a good day, guys.